Welcome back. For years now, we've been warning you about unscrupulous locksmiths, the Fox 4 problem solvers. The problem appears only to have grown worse.
In this new investigation, Fox 4 problem solver Linda Wager talks to a Johnson County, Kansas woman who called a locksmith for help and then watched helplessly as he emptied her bank account.
As soon as he got there, he said, "Don't worry, I'm going to take care of everything."
But Linda Collier had no idea how much that was going to cost her. Miss Collier had called a locksmith after locking her keys in her car one weekday afternoon. She found one by Googling on her phone, a decision she quickly came to regret. She thought the locksmith would just open her car door, but that's not what he told her.
"You're going to need a new key." And I thought, why?
He quickly got her car door opened and then started making her a key, even though her own key was in her ignition. She was too intimidated, she said, to ask questions.
And then he says, "Ma'am, this is going to cost you a lot of money." "Yeah, $1,000. I said, "I don't have $1,000. Well, he grabbed my debit card out of my hand because I pulled it out because I thought I was going to pay him something decent. And he slid it on some kind of bar, and he says, "You're right, you don't have $1,000 in your account."
He demanded to know if she had a husband or son who could pay him. She didn't. And that's when he decided to settle for $500, saying she reminded him of his grandmother. But the price was still more than 5 times what unlocking her car should have cost.
If I reminded him of his grandmother, he must have hated his grandmother.
He handed her this receipt with no identifying information, no address, no phone number. It simply says locksmith service. And that key he made only works in the ignition and won't even open her door. What was just another day on the job for that locksmith was financially devastating to Linda Collier. Not knowing what to do, she called Fox 4 problem solvers.
I felt like that you guys are concerned about people. You're concerned about senior citizens and people that get ripped off. And I just felt like he took such advantage of me because I was an older woman. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cry. But that cost me $500.
We told Miss Collier to immediately call her bank and report the transaction as fraud. But the bank told her there was nothing it could do since she'd signed that receipt accepting the charge. Linda Collier is not the first victim. She's one of more than a dozen we've either met or heard from across the metro, all with similar stories. Fox 4 Problem Solvers has uncovered multiple locksmith scam operations in the metro. They use fake addresses as their supposed locations, like this KCK building listed with the Secretary of State's office as the location of a locksmith, except there is no locksmith here. These locksmith scammers almost always provide receipts with no identifying information and constantly change their phone numbers. Often when you call one for help, they'll answer the phone by simply saying locksmith, because they almost always have multiple company names. We called the number Linda Collier dialed, but no one answered. No matter the number or the name, the outcome is almost always the same.
Should never have.
Numerous victims have called the Missouri Attorney General's office for help but have never heard back. However, Ms. Collier's scam took place in Johnson County, Kansas, where the district attorney's office is more aggressive in protecting consumers. Ms. Collier has contacted the DA's office Consumer Fraud Division, and it's now looking into her case. We'll let you know what happens. Linda Wager, Fox 4 Problem Solvers.